everyone. Welcome to another episode of Taking Up Space, a Michelle Mayer podcast. Super excited about coming forward today with the thought provoking revelation for you all. This is something that I've been pondering for a long time. You'll notice that I don't know if any of you have noticed my other channel, um, but I've been saying this one for a while. Spirit just laid it upon me, and it's just starting to reveal itself more and more as life goes on. So I'd like to communicate this perspective to you. Imagine another world that is a complete replica of this world. And imagine all the things that are going on in this world happens in this other world, okay? So I'm going to take us out of this particular realm and put us in another realm based on all the laws and all the rules and all the goings-ons and all of the history of this realm, okay? So just for political purposes, okay, to be politically correct, I'll take us from here to there. And in this other realm, there were a group of people that lived in the realm and were capable of maximizing on their physical potential while in the world. So like there were different tribes, you got all these different tribes, but of all these different tribes of the entire world, this particular group or this particular tribe had more of a affinity to maximize upon all of the potential energy that God gave everyone in the world. So you got a higher output from this particular tribe than you would get from all of the other tribes. Not saying that all the other tribes don't have these blessings and these abilities to create and to be able to express themselves in the world just as this particular tribe does. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that this particular tribe will give you the maximum output than any of the other tribes can give you. They'll give you a maximum yield on whatever the expression is or whatever the program is that is embedded in them. And the forefathers, the creators of all of these different tribes that inhabit the world, had to leave for a season. They had to go, because everything is bound by a time sequence. They're bound by season. So they have to leave for a season. They come back within a season. They stay within a season. They're gone within a season. So those that they left in charge knew this as well. So they leave these people in charge of these children, all of them, those with the least amount of output and those with the maximum yield of expression, the maximum yield of output. They leave them in charge of them, and they leave for a time. And they know those that are gone, those that are leaving, and those that are in charge, that they left in charge, know the amount of time that they're going to be gone, right? They don't just say, well, we'll be back some other time. No, they know that in the universal realm of things, within the godly realm of things, there is a season for everything. So they know the sequence of things, and they know the amount of time that these parents, these forefathers, these creators are going to be gone. And they know around about what time they'll be back. So when they leave, they immediately enter this way of sabotaging these children. They set up a sequence of events that puts these children in the dark. Now, the only way that they will be able to do such a thing, because of course you had elders amongst these children, and you had infants amongst these children, and you had all the ages in between. The only way someone or any of those that were left in charge could do it would be to reset the head count. They would have to get rid of all of the elders, all of the adults that the elders were able to pass on the knowledge to, all of those that knew the method of operation, they knew the history, all of those, even those that were of the least yielding group and those of the highest yielding group. They had to eradicate the knowledge altogether and leave nothing but children or small groups of adults, not enough to really make a difference, not enough to impede the new program that they were going to lay out. And they did this. It could have happened in the form of a natural disaster. It could have happened in the form of an asteroid. It could have happened. It doesn't really matter how it happened. It happened. And what was left were all children, young children, maybe 10 years old and younger, that really was able to sustain the crush of the reset. And because of that, they were able to reprogram the minds of the entire planet. The entire planet. Everyone is reprogrammed. And they're reprogrammed to the storyline of those that were left in charge. That small group. That small group betrayed the creators, the forefathers, and they reprogrammed the entire garden. Reprogrammed it from top to bottom. They didn't reprogram nature. They didn't reprogram nature. They reprogrammed the mind. They even went as far as reprogramming the DNA. So the capabilities of all of those that were before has been minimized down to a controlled level. And the knowledge that activates the capabilities has been eradicated. See, in order for the avatars that these people, that their spirit is held within, to really to reach its maximum yield, it must be in alignment with the right information. It must be in alignment with the right knowing. It must be in alignment with the right level of knowledge. So if you don't have these aspects all in line, the individual will still fire off and still be able to show a high yield. It's just not the highest yield. It's just not at its height. Coupled with the fact that they have been altered genetically, they're limited in their space, the aspect of their yield tremendously, but they still have a tremendous amount of output that they could administer just based off of will. Just will. And so this is what they're working with now. They're not working because of this sequence of events, because the knowledge has been contaminated planetarily and only a few have it. Yet the few that have it are not of this group, or they may be. The few that have it hoard it all to themselves and to their generations. The few that have it disperse it to certain individuals that they work through, but only in increments. And even those individuals that they disperse it to are not genetically set up in a way where they could capture the maximum yield of it. They keep those that are in that can capture the maximum yield of it in complete darkness. They would not ever allow them to know this knowledge, because they know from what happened with Eve, or what happened with the first individuals in the garden, that this knowledge, when even a little bit of it is given, it multiplies like a weed. You cannot stop it from progressing. So the planet is multiplying back in head count. The children are growing older. Those that were of the highest yield group, that were dominant in the world prior to their forefathers and their creators leaving, are now in bondage. They have been made the least. All of this because of the higher yield capabilities that they have within them innately. That is the primary reason. And they are made the least within this world. They have to earn any amount of knowledge that they find. Most of the knowledge they get is from the ancestral realm, or from God himself in the form of downloads to these children. Because remember, their forefathers have left, they're gone, they're in another realm, yet energy never loses power. It just transforms from one state to the next. So the ability, as these people grow, and as just in them existing, they are like antennas. Their thoughts and their feelings resonate within the realms. Even in their state of darkness, even in their state of not of ignorance, they resonate. Yet those that are in control, those that were left in control, know all of the processes and procedures that happen, and how spirit moves, and how their creators can communicate with them from distances. They were taught this science so that they would know how to communicate if they ever needed to. But they've used this wisdom to bind these children up and to cut them off from all forms of communication. They know the power of a name. They've taken on the name of the children and had the children programmed to their names, or names of other individuals outside of who they are. So the children are walking around calling themselves this racial group that is not who they are. It's like me. I'm born, my name is Michelle. But if I'm programmed and you get me at an early age and I don't really know my name, you could tell me my name is Christina. And I'll be calling myself Christina. And no one will know that I'm not Christina unless they saw me. That is exactly what has happened to these children in this other realm. They're calling themselves this name that is not of them, yet those that are in control, those that were powerless prior to this, have become powerful because of the absence of those that were here managing, creating, directing. So now they've taken upon their name, their title, the name of their house. And they're making moves in the world that they live in this other realm as imposters to these children, yet the children don't even know it. They have no clue. They have no clue of what's going on. And their ancestors and all the creators that are in the other realm are thinking everything is fine. Because they're hearing that this house is doing this, and this house is doing that. And it makes this house look as if it is thriving and surviving. So the children are fine. When in fact, it could be nothing but the total opposite. Those are not your children. Those are imposters placating as your children, and they have bound your children up. Your children are in a dire state. So, as with anything, these individuals know that there is a time to everything, as I said before. Everything has a time and everything has a season, friend. That is the constant in this life. If you pay attention to this life, to the rhythm of this life, you will know this. Everything has a time and everything has a season. It's written right there in that book that everybody wants to discredit. But that book is based on a larger thing. And it's about time for those that left to come back. It's about that time. And because those that have imposed themselves upon all the blessings of the children, that have made themselves imposters of the children, because they know what they've done, they know the extent of what they've done. They look to just make sure that that there's nothing for them to want to come back for. Even if they come back, it's all ruined. It's wasted. What was beautiful and miraculous has turned into savagery and misery. The garden has been, instead of them now reprogramming the people, they've already done that. They reprogrammed the whole the mindset of the entire planet. Instead of them doing that, now the second leg is to reprogram nature, mother. So they reprogram the entire, or most of, the plant life. They've already reprogrammed the animal life, the livestock. They've done that. And genetic manipulations. They did that back when they reprogrammed the people. But now it is to reprogram nature. And they would have done this a long time ago. But the thing with nature is nature's tricky. See, there's a time frame you have to fooling around with nature. You fool with nature long enough. They learned this from over in what do you call that when they had those tall stone faces facing the water, and they cut down all the trees. They learned from that instance that you can't fool with nature too much, because nature is unpredictable. Nature's like a woman. You really can't tell which way she's gonna go. Emotional. So nature is that in that way. But they've begun reprogramming her. So that there is no natural, organic anything. Everything will be tampered with, which shortens its life cycle. Anything can come upon it and it won't have anything to withstand it. See, what God created in nature is sustainable. It could sustain anything. Anything. If the root is deep enough, if the seed is sustainable enough, it'll sustain anything. But when you get to slicing and splicing and manipulating it and scientifically messing with the DNA of it, you've compromised it. Its shielding has been broken down and compromised. And any variation of things that come upon it could annihilate it. And they know this. So that lets me know that they are okay with destroying nature. And in destroying nature, you destroy all life on the planet. Nature and the sun are essentially one. They're one. You have the father, and you have the mother, and you have the children, which are us. The father, the sun. Mother, the earth. And every man and woman walking upon this earth holds dominion by way of the father and the mother. Without the father and the mother, there would be no children, man or woman. We wouldn't have anything to survive. Oxygen alone could not sustain us. Wouldn't that be a great movie? That'd be a great movie. That was on my mind today. You know, when you look around the world and you look across this planet at all the stuff that's going on, all these things are of old. But are they the correct players? Are they? Are they even in the right regions? Is a storyline true surrounding them? It's an interesting time, y'all. My podcast episode is short again today. Just wanted to come on with that for you, give you something to think about. These other realms. I'm a sci-fi lover, and I'm very interested to hear any comments that you have or any ideas you have in relation to what I just said. We're loved more than we'll ever know. I cannot stress this enough. If only you knew how loved you were. If only you knew who walked with you at all times. Don't ever forget that. Don't you ever for a second let anybody tell you anything different. It is the love that sustains you. Peace and love.